Okay, let's have another game on the 15-minute time control. Okay, it's 70. Oh, an opponent from before, jabuka27. Does he want to play me again? He might not want to. Now, E5 from's gambit. See, that is pretty unsound actually, if he knows the stuff. So I could lose this horribly. If he knows how to capture the centre, he'd basically be losing horribly. C3. So what about G5, D4, G4? He's constructing that centre. Does he know the theory? A bit of hesitation here. Actually, this wasn't theory knight c6. I should have played g5 immediately, by the way. So this is now interesting. Anyway, what's the knight going to come to d4 for? I've got queen h4 check, and then bishop g3 after knight d4. Unless I'm blundering, or what is this? Let's develop more pieces. Bishop f5. Okay. What if I just take on d4 and then bishop f5, get more development, which I enjoy. Mind you, he's on the rook. Maybe knight g6 protects the rook. Then there's a threat of okay, so bishop f5 now. Well, I like the developments, but will he capture back the centre pretty soon? With e4. Should I try and castle queenside, I wonder? Taking more things? Blimey. Okay, more development. So I've got lots of bits out. Can I punish him? This looks like a vulnerability if I got a queen there in the future. If e4 is not on the cards, I've got less to worry about, I think. Knight d5 and queen h4. But I want to like protect things as well, to be able to move the queen without losing the rook. So if I castle here, there's no e4. Just castle. So I just want to play knight d5, I think, which would threaten things like knight b4, knight f4, queen h4. Okay, well, knight g6, there's e4. Knight c6 is almost like winning a centre pawn, I think. There's queen a4, there's knight b4, that looks strong. So queen a4 protecting d4, but knight b4 lost the threats. I suppose he's got d3. D3 might cover it, unless queen e7, threatening knight d3. Let's go for that. So queen e7 on d3, unless there's anything stronger. There's no queen h4 on the cards. g3, bishop g3. Was he experimenting with this opening? I seem to have a fierce initiative. Actually, he's got e4 here. I have to play queen h4 anyway, I think. That's bishop d7 if I need it to attack the queen. Okay. So king safety could be an issue. Rook e8 on king e2. On king d1, on king d1, Indeed. What do I play? Interesting. King D1. Doesn't look as though white's... Okay, I think I'm going to sack to go for the king here. Taking, and then maybe Queen F3 to win the rook. So I get 2 pawns in the process instead of just winning the rook straight off the bat. But they might be stronger. It's with checks anyway. I think it's end of game here. This runs with checks. The knight stopping the escape on c2. Knight e2, Queen h1. I'm threatening Queen f1. Okay, King e1. It would be nice to have Knight c2. I can decoy Bishop d7. There's Queen b3. There's Knight d3 winning the Queen there. Take the Queen, take on h1. Otherwise, there's Knight c2 mate. Well, Queen takes is threatening Queen f1. That's good enough here. So Knight g3 back to f3. Yeah, I don't think the opening here was played amazingly. So Queen f3, Bishop e2. Was there anything stronger? I think that's pretty strong. I'll take on g3. Okay, he can take on f5, and then I've got Queen g1, forcing mate, I think. Let's say King e1 though. Again, this idea of Knight c2 mate, Bishop d7, not needed. So again, threatening Queen g1 mating. Say d3, check, King d2. Maybe d3 is the way to go here. Knight d3 threatens Queen e1 and Queen e2. So Knight d3 looks strong. I was checking, taking on e2. I'll go with Knight d3. Some sort of yeah, Queen e1, Queen e2. That looks pretty good. Alright, let's say Rook. Sorry, Bishop d2. Am I giving him too many chances? Or it's playing on. Okay. There's Rook b4. There's just Knight c1 and Queen b2. That seems to do well to win the Rook. I'll go Knight c1. I'm not dropping g4 perpetual. Just dismantles protection of the king here. Queen b2. hang on. Is there not a mate here now? My gut instinct would say there should be a mate by now. Queen d3, king b2, queen d2, king a3, rook a8 winning the queen. I think that's good enough. If king b1, really? Does he really want to play that? Knight d3. Okay, so just rook a8, or is there a spectacular mate? Or he's resigned here. So that was a bit cruel, I'm sorry, it was cruel, but if, you know, from gambit is needed, if white knows it, then white gets a clear advantage, but if he doesn't, he could get in big trouble with little development, and still this basic tactical issue of queen h4 sometimes. So it was a bit cruel. Comments or questions on YouTube? Thanks so much.